First off, let me just put it very clearly. Screw you for the cat ears. People like I think as I forget that like people didn't understand, like they weren't there. I just assume that like, you know, I've got like main character syndrome. I think where like I'm like, oh, everybody saw me get the cat ears and everyone gets the joke. I get all these people like, what's with the cat ears, dude? Like, you know, and I'm like, oh my gosh, people don't understand the whole. Well, yeah, this is the guy to blame for the cat ears. Pepper. Yeah, Pepper says boo. Pepper says boo. So nice. Congratulations for shattering my professional image, my marriage, everything. Yeah.
Forgot about the marriage part. Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, fragile masculinity. Okay. Well, how you been?
It's funny. Yeah, I was considering asking you to put them on specifically for this VOD, but I guess maybe not.
Oh, you know, okay, you know what? Why not? Just for this VOD. I'm gonna forget. Yeah. See, this is dangerous though, because I'm gonna forget. And it's just gonna sit there for a little bit.
It's gonna DM you in like Avatar, 3 minutes. Like, yo, what's up with that? Like,
profile effect? What is it? No, is it banner? No,
I don't know.
It's avatar decoration is what it is. Got it.
Ah, yeah, there you go.
And the blush that just like covers my left eyeball is like the nice plus. It's a little off.
It's so funny. There it is.
Yeah, we're back. We're so back. Oh, right. Well, how's practice been?
It goes until I don't know what to work on, and then I struggle with indecision, and then I crumble.
Yeah.
This is a thing not only in Overwatch, but in any other game, and in real life too, to a certain extent. I do well with direction, and when I have to give myself directions, I don't know if they're good directions, and then I crumble. So
you know, I've got a funny little story here. I won't be able to like say obviously in information beyond the base level, but I got a message the other day from somebody that offered me $1,000 if I could coach them to Grandmaster for Masters. They said that they need like somebody to tell them what to do all the time, and I basically had to break the news. It's like, you know, I appreciate the offer. Maybe if I was smarter financially, I'd take them up on it. But like my whole concept is like, you can't be reliant off of external feedback exclusively. I think it's like, you know what it is? Here's what it is. I had this realization where like people generally do better when they're in a culture of whatever. Mm-hmm. People lose weight when they find a group of friends that they can work out with, right? People get smarter when they're in the book club. People love Overwatch when they're playing with a really great friend group or with a really great team. And that's just human nature. It's like that we're social creatures, and so we're always going to benefit from that kind of a thing. But I think like there's always like that part of us that always aspires to, and I think it's good to aspire to be not self-sufficient in terms of that we don't need social aspects, but that we shouldn't rely exclusively on the social aspects to be motivated, I guess.
Right. And I'm self-aware of that. I want to learn to be independent in that sense.
Sure.
I just don't know how.
Sure. Have we talked about that in a previous session? It's been a while.
We've only had one session. I don't think so.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about that, like globally, and then let's actually practice that in our review, if you're down for that.
I am totally down for that.
Okay, because that's a really important skill. I would say maybe the most important skill that I go over in like any VOD review, because like ultimately that's why like I love not having repeat students too much, you know, because I like feeling like you go off and do your own. That's why I generally don't coach people. I've had people that do weekly coaching sessions before in the past, and almost without exception, those sessions always went poorly. Where it was like we ended up being repetitive, going over the same stuff, and them making the same errors because they're always basically they would just save a wall of questions for me, and it's like, well, I don't want to do that, right? Like you need to go figure these things out yourself. Like you need to sweat. So okay, let's go through the form here. Let's just skim through.
Right. I edited it like 2 days ago.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. I feel like I'm always on the wrong hero. I'm not focusing on the right target. Not playing a particular play style. Cannot easily see the win con mid game, and my mental gets destroyed if my teammates start flaming me. Makes sense.
Yeah, I've got a paper mental. I didn't realize this. I don't. It doesn't happen too much unless my teammates start saying something. In which case, then it's a problem.
To avoid being like an armchair psychologist here, I mean, it does kind of make sense that you're also somebody that's looking for external feedback as well consistently, right? So when you get the external feedback that's not super productive, then that's going to tear you apart. And I also think it's just, again, nature of part of being human is that we are vulnerable to external feedback. I mean, I cannot tell you how many days I've had literally the day was almost completely ruined because of a nasty comment I got on Twitter or some spat I got in Reddit, right? And you think that, oh, I'm a big guy, right? No, I can't. Like YouTube comments I'm mostly okay with because I'm just expecting brain dead, but I'm still vulnerable to that kind of stuff,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Even in game, right?
Yeah.
I think the key thing is always to be like, when we talk about you being self-sufficient, is more often than not, like even the questions that you're asking here, like what hero should be playing, who should be focusing, what particular playstyle should be using, defend backline, go in, and so on. Like these are all like really, really complicated questions that are probably unnecessary.
Yeah.
Whenever I've had sessions with players, really of all ranks, even up to like top 500, and we have like these complicated, like I'm really confused about how to approach this. Usually the answer is really simple. Stop overthinking it, idiot. Just play the hero. Just do the thing. So I guess like I'm sure we'll come to that point in your review.
Yeah,
we'll be like, slap you upside the face, because that's the thing is like, that's also a Spyloism, and something that I'm always trying to fight is that like there are a lot of details and nuances and cool strategic macro things to study and learn within Overwatch. But some of my worst, hardest stuck students are some of the people that have known me the longest and studying my content, right? It's because, you need to like break it down digestible piece by digestible piece. And really a lot of times you don't need to know all these details to improve.
Right.
Like, what I do is I put out content in the hope that somebody out there is going to find it useful, but you don't need to watch every single piece of content to be able to be good at the game. In fact, it's probably better that you don't. Okay. Playing Overwatch at least 4 hours, depending on college assignments of the day, average up to about 7 hours a day per week. That's a lot of Overwatch.
I've been splitting it up. Like if I outside of focus time, I've just started like playing other games.
Okay. Like, yeah. Because that I can tell you is like an actively negative thing, right off the bat. So I would be at.
I feel that I'll stay on it, but
yeah. Well, we've probably talked about this before, but like your ability to segment your focus is really important. Right. So like how are you at that? Is there a clear like practice time and just playing for fun time? Is it kind of bleed together?
Yeah. So what I try to do is I try to make the first couple hours of my session productive. Maybe if I've had like a rough school assignment. I see you've just posted a link. Yeah. Maybe if I've had like a rough school day, I'll only do like an hour, or maybe even I won't even try and focus for the day.
Yeah.
Outside of that, after that it's just kind of whatever goes.
Okay. Yeah, I would give it some self-reflection about how you need to be like managing your time, because like you know exactly what I'm going to tell you. 2 to 3 hours, hard focus practice at a specific goal, taking breaks between every queue. After that, make sure that you can play for fun, but that I would generally avoid the heroes that you're grinding, right? Going as far to like literally don't get pulled into the trap of, well, I can just grind my mechanics. No, don't play the characters. Don't do it. So, you play your tank, right?
Yeah.
So you play tank. Don't touch tank after the first 3 or 4 hours or whatever you practice, right? Don't touch it. Do something else entirely. I don't care, right? I think just, again, it's about like, I think more of our life. I want to make a video on this. I want to make the video on this. People say, you ever heard the phrase that life isn't a sprint, it's a marathon?
I think I have heard that, yeah.
Okay, it's not right? But they're wrong. It's actually a sprint. It's a marathon sprint. Hear me out, okay?
Yeah.
It's not about grinding at something all day long. It's about short sprints, doing short sprints every day. You kind of see what I'm saying? So when we talk about like a number of days to achieve, not I would say greatness, but even if just progress, growth, right? That is definitely the marathon. But the training sessions themselves will be more akin to sprints.
I totally get that, yeah.
And so you're racking up insane amount of hours and you're freaking diamond. You're above average. Like you're good at the game, but like, can you imagine doing anything for 7 hours a day? Like imagine if you're playing piano for 7 hours a day.
Well,
like you would be a freak. You would be a freak of nature, right? Yeah. And I think there's just a certain level to where like video games are like so high demand that it's very easy to just kind of like coast, like you can't give that level of input, but you need to be putting that level of effort if you want to improve. And I wouldn't even necessarily say that you have to like treat it like work, but I would definitely like cut yourself some slack here and there with what you do.
Right.
Funny
you mentioned piano. I actually used to play piano. I was taking lessons at an early age, and then I just kept on playing piano. And it got to a point where I was being forced to play piano. I didn't want to, and then I burned out, and I haven't played it since.
And there you go, right?
That was 6 years ago. Yeah.
Like I'm not to give you like any existential crises here right now, but like what could you have been if you didn't burn out? Would you have been a great musician? Maybe not.
The thing is, I was insane. Like my parents consistently tell me, "Yo, you were really good at the piano."
Right, right. But that's what happens is we you know what it is? It's the goose of the golden egg. You familiar with that story?
I've heard the phrase. No,
the whole idea is that like they have this goose that lays a golden egg every single day, and they're like, hey, like we're getting tired of like the only one golden egg per day. Like let's so they just like they cut the goose open to get like all the golden eggs, and shocker, there's nothing there, and the goose is dead, right? Yeah. So what ends up happening is we're thinking like, hey, we could accelerate this process, but you can't. Like you destroy your love of the game, and so like kind of where you're at right now is like I know you're not going for pro necessarily, right? But also like what you're really running the risk of is actually more dangerous than failing to go pro. To be a little bit dramatic, you're running the risk of like destroying your love of something that you actually really like.
Yeah, and I've done that before.
I've done that before too, right? I've done that before too. I destroyed my love. I didn't destroy, but I came really close the last 2 years of like really hurting my love of some certain sports that I played because I got into these like really competitive travel things, and then we had to get up really early, and I was like driving to like Georgia and all this kind of stuff, and it was just like it was just a pain, and the whole culture was like really toxic and really immature, and like basically I almost destroyed my love of the sport because I was so intent on like being competitive with it, and like and that one is like that one I it wasn't like the playing or the competing that was the bad. It was the culture around it that was really bad. So that one is like I could shift some of the blame off, but I still have to take responsibility with how I approach it.
Yeah. That really reminds me of Fortnite. Like that game is so fun, but the culture, oh my god!
Right. So you have to take some precautionary measures. Like keep playing the game, but you have to take some precautionary measures. It's like being like on a really really toxic team. It's like is that your fault? Maybe not necessarily, but it is your responsibility to handle that situation so you don't destroy your love of the game.
Right.
Because there's a lot of Overwatch League players, and there's a lot of just hard-stuck bronze players that at some point in time they made a bad decision to stick with something or to not adjust, and now they've kind of like they've screwed themselves over. So like burnout is real. It's not just real for pros, Yeah. So keep that in mind. Do what you enjoy. Play what you enjoy. Try to find some sort of structure and that's focused on improvement, but also like I think you could do both. I think like a lot of the players. So here's the funny thing. So the session that I just sent to you right there, the life coaching, time management, the grind, that player actually messaged me 3 days ago, and they've hit a career peak.
Oh yeah.
And what they did is they cut their playtime almost in half.
Wait, I'm 50 minutes into this. Wait, I've watched this.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
But see, this is the thing though. You need to not just watch it. You need to do something with that information.
This must have autoplayed because I don't remember it.
Okay. We actually don't VOD review almost the entire review.
Yeah, I see that now, yeah.
So anyway, long story short, like that player hit a new SR peak a couple of weeks after implementing some of this stuff. But like that's the key thing. It's like that's why a lot of times people need coaching even if they've seen all my videos, is because you need to be in here with me straight face to face, slapping you around a little bit, splashing with water, being like, hey, idiot. You need to implement some of these things. You need to cut down on your playtime. You need to expand yourself. Because like this game is too great to burn out on. Like it would suck to not enjoy Overwatch anymore because there's nothing.
Contrary to TikTok comments, but yes.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Goals here is I've dropped the idea of hitting a specific rank. I just want to see improvement. I mean, everyone wants to see improvement, right?
Yeah.
I think for you though, it's like like let's see improvement maybe, but like let's make sure that I'm enjoying the game. But that is a priority,
right?
Whether I notice in the moment my own gameplay or seeing funding number go up, a long-term goal of eventually making collegiate. I've got plans being next year. Way out of distance, short-term getting over the skill plateau in the last month or 3. And the funny thing is like the skill plateau is clearly like not a playtime issue. Like
right.
You're playing
right.
like right. So.
And I feel like
go ahead.
I know. Yeah, I was gonna say it's I know I have strengths, but I also know I have weaknesses. I think I'm coming around to my weaknesses. I just don't know how to solve them per se. Like,
Yeah. Well, they say work smarter, not harder, right? That's what they say. And but see, the thing is people always look at that as an excuse to be lazy. But it's not lazy. Like, you really have to to work smarter. What is working smarter?
Actively thinking, right?
Yeah, you got to think, right? You got to think. You got to be like, all right, what are my weaknesses? Like, what do I need to be doing differently? How am I approaching ranked? What skills do I need to be improving on? Am I getting enough sleep? Am I playing too much of the game? How about my approach to the game? How's my hero pool? How's my mentality? How's my relationship with the game? Sitting down and just thinking, and I remember this is something I've talked about a few times in reviews, but you're familiar with Albert, the Florida GM? Yeah. Florida Mayhem.
I'm familiar with him just because of Overwatch World Cup.
Sure.
I don't really know much about him.
So anyway, he came out and said something. I want to say like 6-7 months ago, maybe longer. Yeah. I don't remember. He was basically hit the TLDR was like, why some of the Florida players were like really successful is that like they didn't just immediately jump into ranked after scrimmages were done. What they did is they've auto reviewed. They self-auto reviewed just for a little bit. What he was saying is that like a lot of these players will like, oh, scrims are done. I'm going to go quote unquote be productive. I'm going to go sit and ranked and play Junkrat on my 4.4K Smurf. You know what I'm saying? and like that's just it's a waste of time. Like you've already grinded the game. Like you've been hard focused for 4 hours of scrims. You don't need necessarily like you can play a little more ranked, but like a lot of these players treat it as like, oh, I played. During the Overwatch League season, I played 200 hours of ranked this season. Wow, look at me, pat myself in the back. But like, what did you get out of that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I thought they just played ranked to relax.
You're right, but some of these players treat it like a badge of honor, And he was saying that like at that point, that's really where we're talking about working smarter, not harder. It's like you need to make those hours actually count. What did you get out of those hours? Like versus what could you learn from a little bit of self-auto review? So for you, it's not necessarily, I don't want you playing 30 minutes of ranked today and that's all. You're gonna need to put some hours in, but like how are those hours gonna be spent? How can you make those hours as efficiently as you possibly can? I think the reason why work smarter, not harder matters is because that there are physiological limitations with what you can do.
Yeah.
Just how it is. Like I've had to come to terms with this over and over and over again. I've got a project manager helping me out with stuff. And I'm constantly going, Gabe, I can't do this. Like I'm too tired. I could feel the quality of my coaching dip. So we have to sit there and we have to prioritize because there's only so much I can do. So where's my time best spent efficiently? Gabe likes to call it, don't shoot tanks, shoot squishies. So like how is Spilo shooting squishies? Where's the biggest bang for his buck, But like it's constant battle. So just ask yourself, like, where could I be cleaning up my efficiency?
Right.
For example, you go, what do you feel is holding back from improving? Purely knowledge gap. What are you missing? I don't know how to play X character. I don't know the best way to play a Y character. I don't know if it's better to prioritize that one position to support stay the other high ground. But I feel like most of the problems are fixed with playtime because I only have like 700 hours.
I'm noticing an indecisiveness theme. Yeah, what's up?
That's interesting because you talked about like how you feel like your problems are more related to ignorance, which you extrapolate to be more of a playtime issue. Right. I mean, I understand like why you would come to that conclusion, right?
Yeah.
But how many Bronze Mercy OTPs are there stuck with 6,000 hours?
I know a couple.
Something to consider here. Something to consider. Yeah. You know what it is? You're trying to play catch up. You don't need to play catch up. Stop trying to play catch up. Don't try to accelerate. You're doing exactly what we talked about earlier with piano. You're trying to accelerate the process. And what you're doing is you're actually, ironically, wasting time. Because accelerating the process comes at the expense of your ability to make those 3 to 4 hours valuable. See, that's the problem with playing 7 hours. It's not that, it's wasted time. It's hurtful, negative time. You ever heard of rhabdo?
No.
It's like a disease, not a disease, but a condition when people overtrain physically. Really common in like quote unquote sports like CrossFit. People do go too hard, too long, and it destroys them physically. You've got mental rhabdo, where you are compromising your ability to actually learn and improve because you're playing too much. And the harder you work, the stupider you get. Because you play with less intensity and you also build bad habits as well. Keep that in mind.
So that would explain why after a month break from Valorant, I came back and started playing better than ever.
Yeah. Yeah. You give yourself time to kind of like relax and just play things through. So what we want to do is we want to go back to the basics. You need to work smarter, not harder, and don't overwhelm yourself with a monumental task of quote unquote learning Overwatch from scratch. Just start with where you are. Yeah, I don't really have any other feedback. Your sleep looks good. Do you want to look at some gameplay here?
Wow, yeah. I mean, the past 25 minutes have been good, but that past 3, geez.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real thing. It's really, really important.
It's got me reflecting on life. Like,
well, it's good. That's why Overwatch. That's why Overwatch matters, right? Because it's like it's for many people. It's like your first experience with like applying yourself this hard to anything, right? So you're going to learn a lot about like learning and apply and competition and mastery, and that gives you wisdom. So it's an opportunity. So let's make the most of it. Do you want to shoot a code over?
Yeah, I just put one over. Okay, so I played this one complete autopilot about 8 hours ago. I was tired. I
can imagine.
Yeah, so I have problem heroes. This is a recurring theme. I cannot beat a hog. Hog is a problem for me. I am expected, by the way. I say on Orisa the entire game.
Hey, I haven't coached Orisa in a long time. I'm kind of looking forward to this.
I don't like the character, but I'm on it because counter hog, big spear. Yeah. So let's see. I don't remember much about this game. I know there was at least one instance of me focusing tank when I shouldn't have.
Well, you do have a favorable tank matchup, and you can do a lot versus hog.
Yeah. Let me just screenshot this. All right, cool. There we go.
Okay, good to go?
Yeah, we're good.
What's Orisa good
at? In the words of Flats, you can tell I'm on content a lot. Being a wall.
Okay.
Not dying, just denying space, denial.
What range do you play at generally with Orisa?
Close mid, can be long now because I can mark Widow.
Situationally long, right?
Situationally, yeah.
And what is that situation? Like, look at what you're playing versus right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only target on my screen, so I'm shooting it. So it's far. I'm not expecting to hit things here.
Right, and not just not expecting to hit things, but if that Zenyatta peeks you at 50 meters, you're going to lose that HP trade.
Yeah.
Same thing with Hanzo. So like Orisa's like one of those tricky brawl tanks right now where she has really no consistent long range options, even though she does have like the benefit of the no fall off, right? It's like one of those things that on paper, but in reality, you're not that good of a poke tank.
No, yeah.
Not versus real poke heroes. That being said, you're great at living and dueling in close range. You're really good at anti-tank for the most part. So the key thing with Orisa is, are my cooldowns getting value? What am I doing with these CDs? And taking favorable trades whenever you can. So for Orisa, it's like really the most important thing that you could do with Orisa is finding that position as quickly as possible. Like, what is the spot to where I can threaten or control backline and control their tank as much as I possibly can? Because you're so limited with your mobility, you need to find those positions quickly. Really easy here. But obviously, as this fight evolves and we go to second point, it's going to be a lot trickier.
Okay.
That plus, and you're gonna hate me for this, managing your poke.
What do you mean, like managing HP or?
Yes, managing when you're peaking. You're already trolling right now.
Wait, how?
Because you are not going to win this HP trade at the distance that you're picking the Zenyatta and Hanzo.
I mean, I have to back up, no? Or?
Well, you have to, let's put it this way. If you're going to shoot Roadhog, do not give Zenyatta a target.
So
So you have two options here. There's two options. You can either play here, disengage, and play in these shorter sightlines here, or you play up here. Where when you do peek Zenyatta and Hanzo, you're this range, not this range. You understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think.
Because that right there is expensive. So just be very cautious. Let's put it that way. Make sense?
Yeah, it does. I wonder why I didn't take that left side, because like, I think my immediate thought was I don't want to get shot from the left room.
Mm-hmm.
But they weren't in the left rooms. I don't know.
You need to be really cautious with this unnecessary damage. So you get a little healing here. I would go as far to say that Javelin Spin is a worthwhile cooldown to use there, just to save yourself 200 HP.
Really?
Yes. Do you want to push this, Hanzo?
No, I want to get out because I missed.
Okay. So then Javelin Spin. Save yourself 200 HP. Do you see the difference between like playing your corners really tightly? Like right here, you've done your job.
Mm-hmm. I pushed him out. I mean, back up, I guess. Like,
where's your team? Where's the quote unquote line for your team?
It's this corner.
This corner here. So where have you pushed beyond? Do you see? Right. So then that's what's going to cost you your fortify.
Yeah.
So then they've been able to force your fortify with what? Nothing. Dude, not even, right? Like
not even. Yeah, I mean, it hooked. I went into save and then I overextended. Yeah.
So now there's a window of fragility, which for you and your team. And now they're going to
because we don't have field.
And there it is. And not only that, but you bait your team because your team's like, oh, okay, I guess we're pushing here. No, we're not. So then now your Zen lags behind and gets killed. Right? Your job as Orisa is to draw a line in the sand, preferably short to medium range, and use your CDs to punish that line. When you're on attack, your job is to slowly shift that line forward. 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 You get what I'm saying? Cycle your cooldowns around short sight lines. And never, ever, ever blow your cooldowns unless there's a serious reason for it. You can look for opportunities to push with this. Like, you could see this here and be like, oh, I'm going to let the hog do what he wants. I'm going to flank with Javelin Spin and just go kill these guys. But remember, you have to make sure that your team is engaged at the same point in time. You have to.
I think I end up doing that second point, but yeah.
Because I want to be very clear. The reason why this was peaking was because your backline was not peaking with you.
Right.
If your team had been here, you pushing with Fortify here would have been not only okay, it would have been good. It would have been the correct play. But you over pushed and then allowed yourself to get pushed back.
What do we even call that?
Timing.
Timing, space.
Timing. Just timing.
Timing.
Fight around your team's location. Fight around the line with Orisa.
Gotcha. That was troll. I needed to wait for his heal.
Yeah, I mean, you just misplayed the one-on-one. That's all.
Yeah.
But let's be clear. This is not a bad play from you.
Yeah. Where's his team?
Yeah, because I think this is where this is one of the things with Orisa. It's like where all she really does is focus tank. Now, if you had perfect hindsight here, would you have rather trade on these guys? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably.
But you have a really good tank matchup. You are a little bit limited with what you can do on backline because you're really slow. You just needed to make sure that you time this one well because this guy should have died.
He should have died 100%.
This guy should have died. No. In fact, the only after that, what should you have done here?
Remember, left as soon as I realized he
left as soon as you realized. Right, exactly. You've done your job. Now this is just now you're actually at a disadvantage here because you're going to get your Fortify forced by a potentially hook or spam. So then just disengage, play the corner again, wait for your next cooldown trade. Don't overpush because remember, your team's not engaged here. And this is also not going to be super big bang for your buck because your damage is being reduced by his bait. And that's it. Yeah. You just misplayed that one a little bit. So yeah, you're focusing tank a lot, but that's just the nature of the matchup. Your job as tank is just to do a lot of pressure. Orisa versus Roadhog, when played well by the Orisa, is a lot of pressure on the enemy team.
Gotcha.
Because you will always win that HP trade. Always. And sometimes you don't have the positioning to be able to go for other targets. Good. Good. Fine. Listen for combat.
Yeah, I hear his footsteps, so I'm like,
Good. I know you're looking for ultimate here, but what value are you getting out of this?
I wasn't actually looking for ult here. I was looking to see if where like a squishy is. I think I don't remember what exactly I was looking at here.
But don't drop though. Don't drop. Remember your goal with Orisa. Well, your limitation of the Orisa is you're extremely short ranged in terms of like your mobility. You can't really move around very quickly. So once you knock this Hanzo off, once you bully this hog off, what's the next plan here?
Force off Hanzo, and then
now what?
Sorry. Well, cart's not moving. No one's here, so just go back height.
Go back height or keep hunting. Go look for something else. Go look here. Where's that hog?
Right,
where's
but don't
that Hanzo?
drop.
Right? But don't drop into the open because is this your effective range?
Yeah, but I'm not doing anything.
It's effective range versus Roadhog.
Yeah.
But not effective range versus the rest of the enemy team.
Right. This is funny.
There's no way.
I remember this.
That is actually unbelievable.
She proceeds to solo ult me twice this game. I wanted to kill the Zen, but then he got out.
I mean, it's fine. This is good.
Yeah.
So again, just avoid poke, avoid poke, avoid poke, avoid poke. Oh, no. Like, you have to be so disciplined with your cover usage as Orisa because you need to maintain that HP. This is like, oh, I'm going to do a little bit of poke here. You've already fed here.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because remember, does this look familiar? Wait for it. Remember, what's the problem here? It's the T word. Timing.
Timing.
Because what's happening elsewhere?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening.
This is the trap that Orisas fall into, where they want to do uptime constantly. They get their cooldowns forced early and then either die or allow the enemy team to push in for free. Because let me be very clear, if you don't die here,
we win the fight.
Well, if you don't die here, okay, now the enemy team is pushing, and what can you do to stop it? You have to blow your ultimate just to keep yourself alive.
That did not work.
You should have Javelin Spin and Fortify right now. And what could you do with that? Hanzo, Hog, Zen, everything.
Hog.
You could Javelin Spin into the Zenyatta, pop your ultimate, then Fortify Chain out of it, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Now, I do get ulted here. What do I do against Whole Hog?
You pop the ult. He pops his.
Mm-hmm.
You Javelin Spin or Javelin him to cancel and then disengage.
Okay. And just make sure I position myself well before it to not get stuck in a corner.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. Because he's going to use it on you pretty quickly. So just pull it early. Show you. So you've got ultimate. He uses ult. Bam. Cancel his initial spin there, the initial like whole hog, and then you could even Javelin Spin, out, or you could Javelin Spin the rest of the ultimate, or let him knock you back and then fortify the hook. Like, it's going to cost you probably all or a lot of your cooldowns. Yeah, I was going to say,
I'm burning all cooldowns there.
Right. But the thing is it's an ultimate, first off. It's an ultimate that counters your ultimate. And the other thing, too, as well, you're going to put him under a lot of pressure as well. Because by hitting that Javelin, like, he's pretty naked. And he's also taking hit from your ultimate, which isn't a lot, but it's something.
Right.
Okay, funny moment.
Funny moment.
Yes. Okay, let's keep going here.
Right.
So I want you to focus emphatically on when and where is my team fighting, and then finding short range pushes off of that.
Right.
Nice.
This works because my team is already engaging, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And not only that, but what was the proximity, right?
Very close, yeah.
Very close. So you get in there. Like, Orisa's actually a really good dive tank. If she could get there, right? Like,
Orisa dive, new meta?
Yeah, make Javelin Spin fly. But like this kind of stuff, like Orisa's busted at. Yeah, be very careful.
I don't know what to do here. I feel like Like I get beat out in poke, obviously.
Don't do this. Don't do this. Remember, what were we talking about earlier? Go hunting.
Go hunting. Don't
go
poke.
hunting.
Go hunting.
Go hunting. Like if you could draw the line here. You could also draw the line here. You could just drop yourself on cart in front of your team and hold here. This would be okay as well. Or you could go hunting, like go lurking around here and go see what you can kill. Remember, short range. So where's short range?
Right, not this.
Here?
Like
here?
That'd be pretty
maybe?
close range considering the cart.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd get swarmed though. No, maybe that's Valorant.
But you get swarmed in front of who?
Right in front of my team. They're
Your
all
entire
right.
team. So if you die, unlucky. Your team sucks. Or maybe you suck, right? But you need to like, that's the problem with the Orisa is that people are like scared to drop because they're like, oh, I don't want to commit, but you're not effective here.
Mm-hmm.
Put yourself where you're affected, where yes, if there's no disengage, you're playing Orisa. You die here. But so what? You know?
Yeah,
What's
I guess
worse
I'm
than
used
death,
to
right? Ineffectiveness, right?
Yeah, I guess I'm used to death being end all be all.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
That's it. My value's been served.
Exactly. Like this is fine. The only problem here is that you're not playing the matchup very well. That's all.
Yeah. No. Am I crazy for thinking I get healed there?
Or
Or
your BAP died. Your BAP died.
My BAP died.
Yeah, your BAP died.
Am I clueless? I'm clueless. I'm clueless.
He died to Ash. He died to Ash. Check this out. See that? He died to Ash. So they kill themselves. And then your backline gets dynamited. It's just like, this is just like one of those situations where like, yeah, you should have gotten healed. And yeah, your Ash shouldn't have shot deflect. But also, you misplayed, you got hooked.
Yeah, I got hooked twice here.
So frankly, if you get hooked, if you mess up this cooldown trade, don't chase the dopamine. Disengage. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just walk out here.
If you mess right, just javelin spin out. Okay, I messed up. Crap. That's okay. He can't pull you back in. Make him walk through the choke into you again. Because by the time you do that, you waited until you were already dead and he got his hook again.
Right.
So he's able to pull you back out. So if you mess up a tank trade, there's nothing wrong with just disengaging it and trying it again. That javelin almost hit.
Yeah, almost. Okay, here I recognized he was going to try and hook me off, so I just played safe.
Yep.
And then I almost threw it all away here. Let's see.
I mean, this is fine. This is all Orisa can do, right? Remember, like the short range fighting at the same time as your team, right? So all you need to do here is live so that you guys can get these guys out, right? If you can live here, you're cooking. Don't take damage. Don't take damage. Don't take damage.
You're not gonna like this. You're not gonna like this. I do some trolling. I see low HP Zen. I'm like, let me snipe him. And then I'm like, wait, oh no, wait, crap. Wait.
Wait, how low did you get? Was that like 8 HP? I think it was like 8 HP.
It was something low.
5. Yeah, that's a number. But yeah, it's just like it's just a misread, you know. It's not playing to your range. Like unless his Zenyatta is literally standing in the open there, like you can't peek that.
I thought he was standing in the open. He moved to cover.
But all that being said, like you at least you played short range for the most part. Like right, you just anchor on point. Like Orisa is an anchor, very similar to Reinhardt, where like once she's there, she's the most difficult tank to dislodge in the game. So you need to make sure that you're playing your range though, and not giving away your survivability resources until the enemy team is earning it. The difference between you and Ryan is the fact that you generally have fewer choices with when and where you can go. I actually think you're a better anchor tank than Ryan, but Ryan has better mobility. Very good. Love to see it. That's all Hog mains deserve that.
Real.
Now short range here, right? Go hunting. If your team is fighting, go hunting. Like start sniffing around here. Go hunting. I want you to be looking for opportunities to dive with Orisa when the map provides those opportunities. And this map 100% those opportunities because of how quickly you're going to be able to drop in this guy or drop in this guy.
Okay. I just kind of assumed they'd leave, but I guess I can chase them when they leave.
Well, if they leave, then fine.
Yeah.
But they haven't left. They haven't left. Good. Yeah, that's fine. The only thing I would say there is just don't wait so long to javelin. Just use it earlier. Like unless you're specific, even if you're looking to specific, like versus the ultimate, just give yourself some time. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I had fortify there. I didn't pop it just because.
Yeah, it's a hog ultimate. It's kind of risky to pop fortify into hog ult.
Yeah.
All right, this is going to be a challenge. This is a Orisa nightmare.
Very.
Same thing with the attack, right? Where you just have like this monstrous long range damage. And the difference between you and other characters that struggle with these characters is that you can't close the distance very easily.
Right.
So multi-step process, right? You need to get on top of the Zenyatta or Hanzo. Or at least threaten that. So what's your approach? I think we talked about it earlier, but what do you think?
I mean, I can maybe go for a spear, right?
Yeah.
My initial thought is I can burn Javelin Spin to get into whatever the store is, right, wherever Hog and Pharah are. But of course, Hog and Pharah are there. So
what about this?
I feel like that doesn't give me option like good cover options to go out of.
Sure. What about approaching like this?
Is that car a good cover?
Yeah, I mean, how close can you get to the squishies here, right?
True. You
see that? And then you could just disengage mine cover. Okay, so here's what you're going to notice, okay?
Yeah.
Hog or their tank is going to play with the squishies, making it impossible for you to go here. Got it? But by doing that, he opens up this flank totally free and allows you to sneak up this way, and then this way, and then this way, and so on. You got to get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or Hog goes in here, preventing you from staging closer, but he opens up the other side of the map for you. You get what I'm saying? Solve the problem. It's not always easy. I don't think this is an easy solution here.
No, yeah. I mean, it's...
Close the distance, 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 close the distance. I would probably prefer not this side. Just because this is a little bit far to close. This is a little bit shorter to close once you get to this corner because you have options here. And then you could even do funny stuff like flanking through here.
Right. Since they're down one, I'm... Yeah. Well,
but do you see this Hanzo feels... This Hanzo's a little tough.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, just walking through here is a little rough. It's like, all right, let's go.
You see this? You see your HP? See your HP?
Yeah, I do. I'm like, what's happening here? Why am I dying?
You gotta close
and then my Zen's deeper than me, and I'm like, wait, what?
And that's where like, okay, so let's be very clear. This is like one of the Orisa fundamentals that the Orisa screw up, right? The number one we talked about was like the timing, right? They just want to constantly poke. The other one is this is when focusing tank needs to be done well. If you're going to focus tank here, you do not move from this cover here. Because you're standing in front of the squishies. Orisa bleeds HP in front of poke DPS. So you have to focus tank from a position where the squishies can't shoot you.
Right. Is it a good idea to focus squishies here?
Yes. Either you focus squishies or you hide from the squishies and shoot tank. Those are your two options.
Right.
You chose neither. Do you remember the Overwatch League Grand Finals last season? And there was like Boston versus London, and London was run like their Rhine Bastion stuff, right?
I don't remember the games per se, but I do remember London.
Long story short, London had the strategy where they used the Rhine Shield to poke out the enemy Orisa. And what you actually came to realize that Orisa was pretty bad in the poke trade versus Reinhardt. Because Reinhardt was able to... Reinhardt was able to shield his poke DPS and not lose any of his own HP, whereas Orisa got melted, got her fortify force, and so on. So the irony is that Orisa's like this poke tank that could brutalize other tanks in the poke trade, but she gets toasted by squishies.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is you have these tanks doing what you're doing right here. Focus a tank because, look at the dopamine. Oh, it's just juicy, just damn it. But you just get your HP completely obliterated by it. And it actually happens a little bit with D.Va as well. I noticed this with D.Va players too. Because D.Va could do quite well in the tank trade as well, versus almost every tank. But the problem is that she's getting obliterated by squishies at the same time. And this is a mess. Like, I appreciate your discipline with the fortify here, but this is just poor use of your range.
Right.
Nice. I appreciate the attempt to dive there.
Yeah, we lose that fight. And I'm pretty sure it's my fault because I
100%.
600 HP.
100%. And it's going to happen again here too. Where just a little bit of discipline Lack of discipline there. Like this is wide open, right? This is wide open. This is wide open.
This is wide open.
Go.
This is wide
Close the distance. You have to close the distance.
Wait, then how did I get so low there?
You kind of like bumbled around here and then bumbled around here, and Zenyatta just chunked you and Hanzo chunked you.
So I just burn javelin spin and I go. Because it comes up in
where do you go?
Seconds.
Where do you go? You know?
Yeah. I mean, I default to
if you do go here, then go from here to here. And then unironically go from to here and I don't care. Just full cooldown commit.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe you like javelin spin to here, fortify, and then back up and hide. And then hopefully get healing and then wait for your next set of cooldowns. But you cannot play this game here. Yeah, it's just a little too slow. Nice. I mean, you see what I'm talking about? Like, look at how effective that was. Instant death. Instant death. You hit the javelin, they're dead. Oh my gosh, your HP.
So I got to be more willing to burn cooldowns for HP.
You got it. You got it. People think about like the old Orisa, like the poke tank, right? But the old Orisa had damage mitigation that allowed her to poke. Fortify is too valuable of a damage. It is too valuable. You got choices here. You can go here.
Yeah.
You could poke the Hog from here unironically because the Hanzo can't peek here without getting javelined, right? So you can actually poke the tank here. Then the backline rotates this way. Okay, then now you can walk forward to this choke, or then you can start to flank, or you could keep doing what you're doing now, but just don't do this game.
Right. It's funny, you know. Wait, can you back up like 10 seconds there to where that Hanzo was going? Yeah. So I saw Hog there, and I was thinking like I could maybe walk up there, but I didn't want to do that because I thought Hanzo would just lay into me.
Yeah. What do you think Hanzo's doing right now?
Well, yeah, that's why I'm like, well, I don't want to take that angle because of that. But do I just ignore that and I just go? Like,
well, I mean, remember. If Hanzo peeks here, he dies. He should die.
He should.
You are not scared of squishies in short ranges. You're scared of dwelling too long because the problem is that you're thinking, I don't die from squishies at long range. Yes, but you don't threaten them. And what you do is you bleed HP. You bleed resources from your Ana and Zenyatta. Like, look at the bottom left of your screen. You got a Harmony Orb. I wonder why, right? So if you're here or here or here or taking more proactive pushes, there are going to be more times where you die, but you're going to do something with that death. Remember, it's the same kind of concept that we talked about here, where you're like, I don't want to drop when I just die if they focus me down. Yes, but in front of your team. And what's worse, to be a leech or to die doing something? You know, you're a leech right now. You're absorbing double support. You're feeding ult charge. You're being relatively ineffective. You're not really putting out pressure. And ironically, the only reason that this actually works is because, shocker, you get close. Do not do this. You have to get this chain correct. This is one of the most common mistake. Actually, second most common mistake I see with Orisa behind the whole poke thing is what you just do right here.
What's this?
Ult right now. Right now. You never fortify into ultimate. Never. Almost without exception. Because it guarantees that you die.
I didn't even catch that.
Really important. The other thing you have to consider as well is oftentimes the fortify either allows you to disengage and live, or it allows you to finish the kills because you don't have overheat in your weapon. Right? You're familiar with the fortify mechanic with that, right? So it's really important that you pull the ultimate now and then still have your fortify to get out of jail free. And by the way, when your fortify is done, you'll have your javelin spin again. Because you're going to use this is redundant. This is redundant. You see how this is redundant, right?
No, I see it.
Like, you actually popped your ultimate midway through your fortify already being active.
Yeah.
Like, not even midway. So you double fortified. That is a criminal error. That being said, I'm thankful that you actually did tanking things.
Yeah, I pulled 4.
You actually got up close. You were a threat because you played Orisa like a brawl tank and not like some ornamental pokey decoration. And so your team wins. You created space. And you had to do it the hard way, right? You had to kind of like sneak up, rotate, push, close the distance, and then you dive. Yeah. I'm telling you, it's how you play Orisa. You have to dive with Orisa. You have to dive with Orisa. The only exception to that rule is if you're playing versus a comp that, like, let's say you're playing versus like Reaper Tracer, right? okay, fine. There's nothing there that's going to poke you out from range. Moira, Lucia, right? Just play pokey. But the irony there is that you could still, if you see Moira fade, get in her face, kill her. Right? You see Reaper, Wraith, get in his face, kill him. Pop your Fortify, he's dead. Right? So even versus those situations, even when you can go full pokey, it's like there will be times. Like, I like what you're doing now. I like this threat. This threat. You're making him think about it. This Zenyatta, look at this Zenyatta. He's stuck. He's not rotating. Just don't take too much damage, right?
And then I bleed 400 HP, yeah.
Right. This is a timing issue. Your team isn't really engaged here. Your team's pushing cart. So even though I respect you closing the distance here, this is a timing issue.
I don't deep commit there.
You don't deep commit there. If you get this balance of timing and playing to your range, you're going to have a much easier time with Orisa.
Yeah, I think I struggle with that just in general. And is it outlandish to say that that's because I played so many different tanks?
No. I think Orisa is harder than people give her credit for because, she's 100% harder than people give her credit for because she is, any tank that feels good is by nature harder than people give credit for. Moira is another one, right? Where because it's so easy to feel useful, you're often not useful. That's what they say about like Reinhardt always has a higher win rate than people think because even though he can feel like a bit of a cooldown punching bag, he wins games. Orisa almost exclusively is an easy to play feel character, but is oftentimes you are significantly less effective than you think you are.
Doesn't she have like a 46% win rate or something like that?
I'm honestly not too sure, but I don't even have to look at the win rate to tell you that proportionately, like the fact that she feels good because she has all these like anti-CC whatever cooldowns, I can tell you that she's bad. Because you're a resource leech. You'll wonder like, how am I losing all these games? I'm doing so much because how much healing received have you had, right? Like even right now, you're sitting on cart, but where should you be here? If you were going to go to cart, where would you go? And how would you get there?
Shit, I could do the same thing, just pop E.
Right. First off, again, timing here. Be very careful. I would not be going to cart just yet. I would wait about 3. I would wait 3, 2, 1. Go to cart now. Okay. Then I would javelin spin, and I would javelin spin under here. I do not want to play these games with these guys. I do not. I'm sitting. I'm pushing. And when I get to about here, I'm strongly considering going hunting again.
Okay, I got you.
All right, close the distance, timing. Yeah. Close the distance, timing. Do not play poke games. This is a nice little trip here. You could shoot Hog, but you don't want to shoot Hog when there's a Pharah and Hanzo and Zenyatta also shooting you.
Right.
But you kind of see what I'm saying, like how this feels so stressful.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the Zenyatta and Hanzo are distracted because this would feel even worse.
Was what?
Go ahead.
Was what I did there bad? Good? I don't.
Well, you tell me. Timing, closing the distance.
I think timing was good there, right? My team's there.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, timing's good. They're looking. Right. I'm fighting close to me.
Could you have been closer range? Could you have cut down the distance between you and the enemy team and or used better cover?
Not without getting off cart. Like, I could maybe go close to Kiri, but then I'd just be getting shot in the back.
See the adjustment here? This is it. Unnecessary damage, push cart for free. Don't take any unnecessary damage from far. Okay? Get cart, push here. Wait,
that pushes from here?
Yes, it does. Yep, pushes from here.
I thought range was shorter.
You're fatter than you think, right? You push. He drops. Okay, now we play Roadhog games. You see this? Because who else are you peeking?
I'm also peeking the Pharah.
Not even. She can't see you from here.
Oh, from here. Yeah.
From here, right? Yeah. From where you are now, yeah. But from this position, you're not peeking far.
Right.
So you shoot Hog, you shoot Hog. And then if the Pharah does something silly like that, she ends up rotating in front of your team's LOS. You see that?
Right, okay.
Timing and short silence. The timing part was fine. The silence could have been shorter. The target focus, was fine because obviously Pharah and Kiriko were a little bit far away. Don't worry about it. It was fine. You could have maybe gone hunting up top, but I think what you did was fine because you can pull them to you.
Right.
Risky with Kitsune Roadhog. I think he'll probably kill you here.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. I mean, you did have your Fortify to get out of that, but Kitsune Roadhog is just going to go blam, 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 and you're dead. But I mean, it's all right. It's all right. I'm pleased to at least see that you did the short sightline thing kind of, sort of. And you certainly timed it correctly.
Right.
Don't play this game. If you're going to rotate to here, Javelin Spin. Get there quick. You do not want to play this game. Okay? We're going hunting?
Yeah. So if I'm playing someone like Sigma there, I just use shield or like...
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Going hunting. Short sightline, right? And then the best part about this as well is that you're gonna materialize. This is where you definitely don't go for tank, because you could just go for any target that you want here.
Right. I think I do.
Yeah. Now they're farther away, so what do? You just kind of chill. And this is not bad because you're focusing tank, but who else can see you right now?
No one.
And no one, right? Just Roadhog. So and there it is. Obviously, right. Javelin Spin, no Javelin. Yes, that needed to be done there. So like right here. Good.
I jumped down because I didn't
block. I got you. That's okay. And now here, I think I go hunting here.
Yeah, I want to kill the Zen, so then... Do I kill him?
Yeah, it's worth a Fortify even if you need to. Yep, this is good. Now this is where things get really tricky, right? So but there's a very small adjustment that you can make to make this feel better. Where should you position here?
Front side of cart?
Hint, not here. No, back side of cart. Underneath. Do not let these guys poke you out unnecessarily. So when you swing wide here for extra damage, you give the soldier sightline and he melts you. See that?
Right.
Just a small adjustment here. Because obviously you got to play card here.
Yeah. Bro, low key, I don't know what to do with this.
Oh, it's impossible. It's impossible. Yeah, I mean this is fine. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Ult this right now. Ult this. You should have ulted this soldier right here, I think. Sucked him in. Just because he was close, you know? And this is almost unwinnable at this point in time. Well, maybe you can kill Zen. Yeah, Zen's killed.
I get him off, but then...
No, that's... Wait, you guys should win this, I think.
No. No, because of that soldier, actually.
Okay, yeah, nobody cleared soldier. Okay. Yeah, I think the biggest thing for you is just... Let's take some notes here. Orisa.
Yeah.
Short sightlines. Outside of tank matchup. Really prioritize getting close, using cover, staging, etc. Don't get lazy in the tank spam at the expense of peeking enemy squishies. Because that's the thing. It's not that Orisa shouldn't focus tank. I think Orisa, sadly, is really good at focusing tank because that's about all she can do, right? But the problem is that if that's all you're thinking about, you will bleed HP to the enemy backline. Okay? And then time. Don't over peek, early peek for early spam. It's your CDs. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Micro. Ult into Fortify. Whenever possible. Please. That way you could Javelin Spin to set up your ult. Ult. Fortify. Javelin Spin. Perfect little cycle there. Very important that you get that. That's mostly it.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Let's see. So I guess not specific to this VOD, but there are maps as well that I have issues with. Like where I just don't know how to play them. Like I don't know.
It's Orisa?
So just in general, like
sure.
Busan is a big one. It's just like every point on Busan specifically is insanely rough.
Pretty flat map. Pretty flat map.
But it has some crazy heights too, like for downtown and then Mecha Base as well.
Okay.
I don't really know. Like, if I could have, I would have gotten a Busan map, but I just didn't get it in the past 2 days.
Okay. So if you're playing Orisa and Busan, why are you struggling?
Because I'm getting poked out from height, probably.
Anywhere, not just height, length.
Yeah, right? length as well. Length as well. I don't generally play Orisa on Busan.
That is a pretty brutal Orisa map. It will feel good if they're running Reaper Tracer or Moira or something like that. But if they're not playing the characters, they're playing Widowmaker or Hanzo, you are going to feel terrible on that map, right? And that goes for a lot of the other tanks. Like you might struggle with Winston on that map for the same reason.
I do.
You might struggle with Zarya. You might struggle with Diva. Right? So any of these outlier maps with these super long sightlines, that's when you're going to reevaluate like your Doom, your Sigma, your Wrecking Ball. Those are going to be the heroes that feel a little bit better.
I have the most time on Doom this season.
And also, time out. Also keep in mind that the enemy tank is probably having the same struggles. So all you have to do is bleed less HP, do more pressure at a disadvantage.
Yeah. Okay.
There's going to be certain maps that are just feel bad for tank because I think in general, people, more tanks are more often shorter range characters. So longer range maps generally don't feel good. There's a reason why Circuit Royale, you basically just play Sigma, and that's about all you can play. Because what other tank are you going to play there? Right?
True. So, I've seen quite a few Dooms, actually, on Circuit.
Yeah, it's the best dive tank because he's very good at closing distances quickly out of all the dive tanks, right? The same thing with Busan, right? Like Doom is probably going to feel okay on Busan compared to some of the other tanks.
Right.
Okay. Any questions?
Let's see here. I guess to the same extent of not getting poked out, that's probably what Zen really punishes, huh?
Yeah. A lot of any poke hero, Zen, Hanzo, Baptiste, Echo, really anything with any sort of mid or long range poke is going to give Orisa problems. It's kind of funny because if you actually look back at my counters video, I think Orisa had a lot of counters because of. Let me pull it up here really fast here. Jungle Queen, Orisa. Hard counter I have for Orisa is Zenyatta and Zarya.
Huh. It's Zenyatta and
Zarya is not quite as bad as she used to be with the fall off change. But then soft counter is Sigma, Pharah, Hanzo. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Echo, Ashe, Sojourn, Widow, and to an extent Kiriko as well.
Yeah.
So, those are going to be the problematic characters. Short range character. Okay, but I want you to kind of, the most important thing to take away is, because obviously you talked about Orisa's not like your most popular, famous hero of all time, not something that you necessarily love. But do you see that this is relatively simple?
Yes, I do.
Now, I'm very good at this. I've had a lot of practice. So I can point out and explain the relatively simple, especially for tweaky characters like Orisa. Your challenge is going to be, can you look at some of your own VODs with playing less, whether it's your Winston or your Reinhardt, and be able to identify some basic things for you to work on. More than anything else, I want you to problem solve what's the simplest way that I could approach this matchup to maximize pressure and minimize the amount of damage I'm taking.
Okay.
That's it.
Maximize pressure and minimize damage taken.
Right. I would prefer you to look at your positioning. Always start with positioning. Don't obsess over like, oh, I should have shot that target instead, or I misused my fire strike there. Like, just look at, but like, where should I have been? What could I have done? Was I taking too much damage? Am I in the total wrong position? Am I playing around my team?
Okay.
And then obviously as questions come up, you can just message me.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I might have more of those like map specific questions as well at some point.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Wait, real quick. What dive character do I play in Zen? Because I
map specific, right? What's the best? What's the best? Yeah.
Because I feel like Monkey just explodes, but
well, it depends on the map, right? If I'm playing, on Numbani or something like Dorado second point, it's going to be pretty easy for me to be able to close the distance on Zenyatta.
Right.
But if I'm playing on Circuit Royale, so think less about countering the Zen. Play the map.
Play the map. Okay.
Play the map. Playing the map is 99% of the time the solution.
Right. Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Any other questions? That was a good one.
Because I don't have quick questions. I've got one about Diva as a character.
Sure.
Yeah. So like I said, I think I kept it in there that I think of that I have a quote unquote good monkey. When that translates to Diva, it works like 40% of the time. Where like I feel like I'm doing really good, and then the other times, either the map isn't right for me, or they're going Zarya, Sim, Zen, and like Soldier or something, and I just get I can't do anything.
Sure. Look at how you're positioning for those fights and how you're setting up. When you're playing into those pokier, if you're struggling versus pokey style comps, look at your coverage usage, look at your staging. Because remember, the pokier the character, the more fragile they are to being flanked, put down, because they don't have mobility and they don't have the ability to disengage you. So they're high risk, high reward. And if you're unable to close the distance, then you're going to have problems.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
You got to be creative with how you're approaching those matchups. And you got to be super disciplined with your things like your cover usage and so on. And like, if you look at your Orisa play, I could probably guess why you're struggling with Diva. You kind of see what I'm saying? Because they're both, the Diva has more mobility, but Diva also struggles with poke situations if you're not smart at it. So it's not a surprise.
All right. Cool. I don't think I got anything else right now.
All right. I want you to keep me updated with how stuff